What's up, Dark Horse crew? Guys, we're back and we are talking about hip swing today. Question for all of you. How many of you guys have felt that short stroke? You felt that moment where it feels like you just kind of spin your wheels and your rowing stroke just feels short and like it's disconnected. We're gonna solve that problem for you today talking about hip swing. Now, hip swing is absolutely critical when you are rowing because it makes up 30% of our stroke. So a lot of people just spend their stroke just pushing back and forth with the legs or pulling with the arms. The problem is we are missing this giant gap, which is the swing of our hips. And our hips can drive a lot of power. So what we want to think about is that when we're rowing, we should really be having our hips swing from, if we were to look at an analog clock, 11 to 1. And those are our angles. So we have about that range of motion in our hips, but more often than not, what I see is that people hang out at this 12 o'clock position and they just stay here the entire time they're rowing. Well, guess what? That mutes your hip and that removes the ability for you to really access your posterior chain and get good swing, which increases length, increases acceleration, and misses this giant moment where we get peak force when the leg is about to extend and I start swinging the hips open. That is a critical moment of the rowing stroke. And if you are missing the movement of the hips or the swing of the torso, however you want to look at it, you are missing this massive piece of the puzzle. It's a giant energy leak, if you will, because your hips are not moving. So let's get your hips moving, okay? Here's what we're going to focus on. We're going to row with just our hips and our arms, or just our body and our arms. Now the objective is to get you comfortable maintaining neutral spine and using that neutral spine, then swinging through the hips instead of swinging through the back. That's the last thing we want. We don't want to give up our posture. We instead want to rotate the hips. And as long as I maintain a neutral spine, I rotate the hips, I load my posterior chain. So what we are going to do is row torso and arms only to get you comfortable with what it feels like to swing through the hips and still snap the arms and make those two work together. Once we go there, then we can start working leg drive into hip swing only, no arms, and that will connect the front end. So once we do the two, we connect the front end, we connect the back end, then we can start to put them together into one great stroke. These are part of the pick drill series. So on the program, guys, on Dark Horse, you're gonna find that we do a lot of pick drill work. So you are going to feel connected by using those drills. This is just one particular pick drill. There is no one that is pick drill. There are a lot of different parts of the pick drill that we can do. So the first drill that we talked about, basically arms and torso only, we are going to work on swinging the hips, snapping the arms. Swinging the hips, snapping the arms. And then using the torso or the midline while it's braced to grab tension and then snap the arms. This also helps us work on working our order of operations, but that's secondary to what we're trying to accomplish right now. So that's drill one, right? Spend the time swinging through the hips. Spend 5 minutes doing this drill and you will start to notice how much work you can get out of this hip swing. Next, we're gonna go to the front end. So we're gonna work the leg drive into the hip swing. So starting at the catch, driving the legs and swinging the hips open. Notice I'm not using the arms. I am just working on connecting the leg drive into the hips, and then I close the hips before I let the knees bend. Really critical part of the stroke. Once I work that, again, spend 5 minutes up there. I guarantee you, if you spend 10 minutes on these two drills, A, you will be warm, and B, you're gonna have a much better feeling for the stroke. So now we take those two pieces of the drill, put them together. That gives you a full stroke. So we connect them, and now I'm feeling what it means to have this hip swing. And once we bring hip swing back to you guys, your stroke is going to be so much more connected. That's what we want, connection, and we want to give you 30% more power on the machine, okay? Guys, this is Dark Horse Rowing signing off. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter, The Hustler's Guide to Rowing, every Tuesday. You will get our latest blog article and video in your inbox. See you guys on the other side. Signing off.